We are back with our first reseller recap since our return, I believe.
Yes.
And this week we are going to be talking about all the fraud and crime that's been going on Poshmark. It's overdue. We need to discuss.
There's a lot of things that are happening
Yeah.
in the world.
So make sure you stay to the end for that. But before we get there, I think that we wanted to revisit goals. We used to do this every reseller recap. We would tell you what our goals were for our business as well as for YouTube. And I thought it would be good to do that, even though, let's be honest, our goals are kind of in flux.
Our goals are kind of lower goals than we had before.
Yeah.
So we've reset them down.
Yes. So as many of you know, we took a entire year off, and that has changed a lot of things in our business. When we say we took a year off, we mean that we did not source, we did not list, we did not share, we didn't do anything. We just didn't.
We kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth because we both needed a break.
Yeah, I think we burned ourselves out and it was time. So we're basically starting from scratch again. And I will say that on the beginning of this ramp up, I just didn't know really what I wanted. I wasn't sure if I was really going to be here. I really didn't have a goal in mind. And I really actually thought that we were not ramping up at all until this past weekend. But I really thought we were doing terrible. I'd been listing every single day and it felt like we weren't selling anything. But I think that was in comparison to maybe last year.
Yeah, I think you were setting yourself up for failure by comparing yourself to a fully ramped up, consistent month over month kind of business.
Yes.
So it's not a fair comparison.
So our goals, and I hope you guys can take something from these goals, are one, not compare myself to you, to other popular resellers, or to myself when I was a full-time reseller. I am now a part-time reseller. There are new challenges that I have to overcome, and there are new capacity levels, I suppose, that I'm able to do.
We don't have the same bandwidth we did before.
So no comparison. So that is goal one. Goal two is an actual monetary goal. So if you remember back when we were full-time resellers, our goal was around 200 to 250. We kind of moved that a little bit as, our business was doing well or not doing well. We kind of adjusted. But now, because I'm part-time and because we're still in ramp mode, I'm starting off at a goal of 100 a day.
Yes. And I think that is achievable. It is a bit of a stretch goal for us right now to get back into the swing of things. For me, honestly, my main goal is just to be consistent for all things related to reselling, whether that's YouTube or just posting every day and helping you any way I can.
Oh, well, that's an adorable goal, but 100 a day, we will keep you posted on this. We're not there yet, and we're being completely honest about it because I want you to see that building and ramping from zero isn't something that happens overnight. And I want to make sure that that is very clear on this channel. This is not just we're killing it over here type channel.
Yeah.
And the third goal is we want to learn a category or learn items on eBay that is going to bring in traffic, because I'm going to be honest here, eBay is lagging behind Poshmark, which I'm surprised about, because when I came back into the community, I was hearing how Poshmark was dead and it was doing terrible. And don't get me wrong, Poshmark is not doing as well as it did for me. But of the two platforms as I'm ramping up, Poshmark is definitely outperforming eBay by leaps and bounds. eBay goes days upon days with no sales, and I'm frustrated. So my goal is to learn some things that are going to bring high traffic into eBay to try and compensate. So that means looking outside of clothing and looking at something else, which is going to bring us into our next topic of this reseller recap.
Yes. So the second category is going to be sourcing highlights or bolo items that we have found recently. So
I don't know if we can call these bolos yet because we have no idea what we're doing, but why don't you at least tell them what the category is?
So it's going to be sporting goods items. So think golf clubs, baseball bats, baseball equipment, any sporting equipment that you can find. It is starting to be the season for people to be outside and active again. So So I think it makes sense to try to learn this. We've dabbled in the past and failed miserably. It's going to be an experience. There's not a very large section of this at any of the thrift stores that are near us, so it'll be a fast to go through category. But I don't know how much luck we'll have.
Yeah, so I want to put some caveats out here just to be clear. First of all, we're not going to stop selling clothing. We would not have a business without clothing. It's just we wouldn't. Second of all, we are very much in the learning stage. So as we show you things, I am imagining that we are going to make mistakes and we are going to show you things that we thought was a bolo that might not be. So we're going to try our best to update you on how things sell, what we learn about them, and if we continue with this category. Because if you've stayed with this channel, you know that we've tried other categories in the past and they haven't done well. We also have categories that we still do look for, example, DVDs, but we just don't find them that much. So there's never a lot to really share, but we still do have them incorporated into our business. And this might end up being a category like that. We won't know until we try. So we do have 2 items to share that we've sourced recently.
One of each, actually. We each found one.
Yeah, like, so good for us. And I do think one of them, the one he found, is actually a good find. The other one, I have a lot of questions, so we'll get to that. So do you want to start with yours?
So we went to the golf section. I am not a golfer myself. I am.
Are you sure? You look like one.
Yeah, I definitely do. Everyone in my office talks about it, but I just never have gotten into it. A lot of my friends are into golf, but it's not for me. I don't have the hand-eye coordination to do it, but I was very intrigued by this particular club because it is something I've never seen before. It is an all-in-one, all-purpose club. So it has a variable ratchet on the club head where you can make it a putter to a pitching wedge to
any of the irons.
An iron. Yeah.
It's 17-1 if I remember correctly.
Something like that. Yeah. Which is just it's a cool gimmick thing and it's unusual. So I picked it up and instantly put it in the cart when I saw the comps from eBay, which are insane.
Yeah. Now it looks like it's going for around $100, some more, some a little less. So we'll see how it does. Again, we don't know much about it. The other issue with this was because we are in the New England area, there was some rust on it. Now you did have some good luck cleaning it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it was rust or just signs of being
Slips.
in a damp basement effects on the golf club. I had very good luck with a little bit of WD-40, a sponge, fingernails, just like scratching it away and
some
cleaning it
water,
up.
warm water,
Cloth, paper towel,
magic eraser.
Magic eraser. Yep. I was in there too, and I think it came out considerably better than it started.
Yeah. So depending on where you are, this might affect you. Rust is also something. If this wasn't rust, then rust is also something you want to look for because these are metal. But in our area, obviously we have snow and we have a lot of damp basements that can cause this. If you're in other areas, you might be lucky and not have to worry about this at all, like some of our reselling friends. But just keep that in mind when you're looking in this category.
Also, just know that we hate you for that.
So we will see how this does. We just listed it yesterday, so we will keep you updated. We'll let you know how quickly it sells, and we'll let you know what it finally sold for. But that is our first ever golf club, I believe.
Yeah, first ever golf club. We only paid $5 or $6 for it, and
we'll see. I think we'll make a pretty hefty profit.
Yeah, I think it's going to sell for at least $75-$80.
But if you sell golf clubs, the question I have is how are we going to ship it? Now, I've copied shipping off of another person's listing. I'm perfectly okay if I make a mistake and I lose a little money. We accept this. This is the things that happen. But what box do people use? So if you are a golf club seller, please leave in the comments what box you sell it for. I'm sure, can figure it out if we need to. But if somebody else has the expertise, we would love to learn.
There have to be like Tubi boxes or like...
You know what? I want to go into the post office and say, do you have a Tubi box? I'm sure it'll work.
They have those triangle boxes at the post office as well.
Yeah. So I'm sure we could figure it out. But if you guys have expertise and you know exactly what you would use for a golf club, please do let us know because that will definitely help us out. Okay, on to mine.
On to yours.
Okay, so mine is actually sitting right to my left. That's why I keep looking to the corner. It is a baseball glove. Now, I am obviously not a baseball player. I also don't even watch baseball anymore because some people in my life don't let me watch baseball. And it's also really hard to get on.
The person that doesn't let you watch baseball is yourself.
It's really hard to get on TV. Can we just
don't blame anyone but
that?
Yourself. Don't blame me. Blame yourself.
Can we blame the MLB for making it so hard to get? Yeah. You can't just watch baseball. But anyways, I used to be super into baseball. But this is the Wilson A2000 XL. And I know nothing about this, but according to Google, that's like a good one. According to the date code, which was BT, it's supposedly from the 1980s. These are all things that just happen to be on Google. I don't know if any of this is true. But There was a flaw on this. The webbing had come loose and it was like, it almost looked like the leather was ripped. We don't actually know exactly. So
Yeah.
we did take a photo of it and we did notate the issue. However, looking at the other gloves that were listed of this model, ours is in relatively good condition.
Yeah. I think a lot of them that are in horrible condition have sold for a very good price. You're talking like $100.
Yeah. Now, the issue I have with this one is a few issues. First of all, I can't really tell what is making one sell for significantly more than the other because you've got comps at as low as $30 and then you have comps as high as like $250. Now, I do know
For a
the
new one, I saw 700.
yes, so I do know the newness will help. I do know the date does seem to bring it up. It looks like some from the 1970s are going a bit more, and ours is from the 1980s. But beyond that, I don't know enough, so I don't know. I did list it originally at 50, and we got watchers within an hour, like a lot of them.
Like minutes. Like, yeah,
So
they were all about this
yeah, so
glove.
we were like, probably priced too low. So I've relisted it at 85. Again, I might drop it. I don't know what I have, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm
I
doing.
think you should raise it personally, but I mean, I don't.
But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So if you know anything about baseball gloves and you know what I have and what I should be doing, definitely let us know. But this is a learning experience for us and we're excited to see where this goes. And I'm pretty excited that we found the first time looking in the category, we found some stuff. So that's really fun.
All right. So this category is going to be the mistake that all resellers make.
Including us.
Yeah,
Including us.
please do as we say, not as we do, because we still make this mistake all of the time. And this is what I have affectionately called new brand blindness.
I love these little terminologies we come up with.
Trademarked, no stealing.
Yeah. So basically, what this means is when you learn of a new brand from us, other YouTubers, Instagram, anywhere, and you learn and you're like, "Oh, I cannot wait to go back to the thrift store because I want to find that brand." We all do it. We've all been there. And then you go to the thrift store and lo and behold, there is the brand. Do not just buy it because you're so excited. And I know I'm guilty of this a
So
lot.
many times.
You'll hear of this great brand and people are like, this is selling for $100 and you're so excited. You finally found the brand. It's in good condition. Can't wait. Gonna bring it home. And what ends up happening is there was a reason that the item that they sold for $100 or whatever it is that you don't remember. Maybe it was a specific style. Maybe it was a specific colorway.
It's almost always the style, color, or something
size.
Yeah.
Something makes this item unique. And you need to keep that in mind when you're picking this up. And so we wanted to give you an example of something that's happened to us and how I suggest combating this. And I am going to try and tell myself to do this as well. Again, do as we say, not as we do. So this isn't recent, but we learned of the shoe brand Brooks.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but when I heard that and I heard how well it was doing on all of the big YouTubers channels, I was like, okay.
I need to find it. I need to buy it. I need to sell it.
Yes. Now I made a few mistakes here. First of all, if you don't know, when you buy shoes, one of the most important things to look for shoes is the sole. You need to make sure the sole is in good condition, it has not worn down, there's no dry rot. It is very important because a lot of these shoes, especially sneakers, are used for running, and it's really important that they have a tread on the shoes. I was not paying as much attention to that.
Yeah, so condition very much matters for shoes. The soles are very important if there's wear on them. The uppers, if there are any rips, I don't so much mind the dirt because they will clean.
A good soak. Nice bath.
A nice soak, maybe run them through the washing machine if they're washing machine safe. And
you don't want to put them in the dishwasher, do you?
No, because I eat.
Can you imagine?
Off my dishes. No, that's.
Just come home and there's all these shoes in the dishwasher. That's like a typical
You can't eat at everybody's house.
That's very true. Anyway, so yes, washing them will help, and we've done a lot with that, and we should probably talk more about that at some point.
I mean, we've watched a few cleaning videos on YouTube, and there are some very great resources for that. The dirt, not so much a problem. The rips to the upper or the wear marks on the sole, those are the big things.
Or rips to the toes.
Yep. Scuffs on the toes, things like that. Those are the big problems that you want to look out for that are going to really change the value.
Yes. But the biggest thing that we wanted to mention here is the style. So I know I am really bad about learning what styles sell well for something. When I learn a brand, I get excited, I learn the brand, and then I feel like, that's everything I need to know. But there is a really easy and quick way that you can learn some really big styles of a brand and kind of get a feel for what you should be looking for. So, taking Brooks, for example, what you can do is go into eBay and type in Brooks sneakers, Brooks running shoes, Brooks shoes, whatever you want to type. Go and filter to pre-owned, sold listings, and then filter high to low, highest sold price. Now, I will give you this caveat because everyone needs this caveat, but on eBay, there are some listings that just
There's some suspicious things going on eBay.
yeah,
And
look, a pair of Brooks shoes did not sell for $5,000. If you were wondering, that didn't happen. So if you see things like that, trust but verify, I guess is what I'll say. Go and make sure you look it up and make sure that there's other comps that also validate the price that you're seeing, because some things are crazy. But you can scroll through and you can see what kinds of Brooks shoes are selling really well. What seems to be for Brooks anyways is, first of all, there's seasonal
the
limited editions.
limited edition prints or the bright prints, the things that are really odd. Basically.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of Christmas sneakers, which they had like, it almost looked like a knit pattern with like Christmas trees and like
snowmen, and
it almost looked like an ugly sweater for a shoe is what it looked like.
Kind of. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a turkey run one, which was like orange and it had like turkeys all over it. That's going for a good amount of money.
There was the sprinkles.
Yeah,
on the
there
shoe.
was a limited edition sprinkle shoe. It was pink. It was really cool. So those seem to be doing really well. Now you can also go and keep scrolling to see the ones that are just, they're not crazy. They're just more consistent. And I know that the Ghost series does really well, but I think there's a certain number that goes with that. I would have to look into that more to see. But scrolling down and seeing what is selling consistently for $50, $60, $70, whatever you're looking to get out of it, go and find that on eBay and validate it. Make sure that it's selling a lot, selling well, and that will really help you get a feel for what you want to find in the thrift store. And it'll also help you kind of navigate through when you're looking at it going, this isn't one I've actually seen before, but it looks cool like the other one. So I think that might be something I want to look up.
The only other thing that I can think to mention is that the painful one that I remember is the first time we ever found Free People.
Oh boy.
And we found something.
I was so excited.
This was back when we were brand new, and we had no frame of reference. I think we also bought just anything that was plain that we could find of the brands.
Yeah, as long as it was the brand. It was like,
I think this was just like a gray top Free People, like nothing special about it. And we paid like $15 for it. Don't ever do that. Pro tip, don't buy Free People for $15 if it's plain and a top.
If it's a maxi dress that looks pretty dope, maybe do.
Do that. Yep, that. So Free People is very style dependent. Sometimes the style is hard to find. I have heard the horror stories from my wife. I don't actually do any of it, so you're listening to the wrong person. But if you can find the style and it is selling for a lot of money, it seems like the maxi dresses are where all of the money is. But by and large, if it's pretty or unique, it's going to sell versus just plain.
Yeah, flowy, boho, long, all that type of stuff does really well on Free People. And then their oversized bell bottoms also do really well. Anything that looks kind of boho 70s is probably going to do well for Free People. So again, make sure you're looking for that. We can always do top 10 lists or whatever of certain categories or even certain brands. If you're interested in something like that, let us know in the comments. We can do that and just go and look for you and let you know what we think about this stuff. And if we found anything that's on these lists, or if
I mean, we've definitely adjusted a couple items after.
We sure did. We definitely
did.
I was playing with it a little bit and I was like, well, I have one of those and up we go. So we'll see how that goes and we will keep you posted on what item that was. Take some guesses. Let us know what you think it is.
You're wrong, probably.
You're probably wrong.
Next up, the juicy bit from the intro.
Juicy.
This is the drama.
We haven't done drama in so long.
We don't really do a whole lot of drama. We do it occasionally, but this is some piping hot tea.
Yeah. Now, again, we won't do drama if it's going to hurt somebody or any that kind of drama. But this type of drama, I think it's important to know what type of publicity the platforms you're selling on is getting, because it definitely impacts who is going to shop on these platforms and how they feel about it. So there's two big ones. There's more scammers in the world, I promise. But there's two big ones that are going around the community right now, and you just learned about these.
Yeah, well, I researched them for this video, in fact. So the first one is a woman that was going around having claimed to be wildly successful in her first year on Poshmark, making almost $1 million, which I don't know that I necessarily believe, but that's a whole other controversy. And she was going around to local individuals and businesses promoting a TV show about reselling on TLC, and then extorting people for all kinds of free items and money to pay for legal fees and all of the various things for a TV show. And then there was no show.
No, there was nothing. So I think like the first lesson we can learn from this is if you are going to be on a TV show, it is very unlikely that the TV show is going to ask you for money. That's just not how it works normally.
No, if they're asking you to be on a TV show, odds are they're going to pay you money because they get to make money off of your activity, whatever that is.
Yes. And if there was some weird situation where you did have to pay something, always make sure that you have a legal binding contract signed by both parties before any money exchanges hands. Because that is, I truthfully do not understand how people trusted so much that this was happening. But this leads me to my second thing is, and this is something I learned through this scam, do not trust Business Insider. I was not aware, and I became aware by other resellers who brought this out. But apparently, with Business Insider, you are able, as a person, to pay them to write a story about you, and they will not fact check what you are saying. So the fact that she said she made $700,000 or $1 million in sales, she probably just said that. Like, that's not validated. She didn't give them paperwork to back that up. She just said it. So, I mean, sure, I made $500,000. Is that true?
I made $70 bajillion.
So it doesn't mean it's true. And I didn't know this. So I did not know that Business Insider was something that you could like pay to play. I thought it was a legitimate news source. So now I know to take anything I see on Business Insider with a grain of salt. And I don't remember if this was Business Insider, but there was a publication that when the story first came out, titled it as Posh Founder led to scams, or Posh Founder had a scam with TLC or whatever it was. But they claimed that the person that caused the problem was Posh Founder. It wasn't Manish.
No.
I don't know if it was Business Insider or a different person, but it was not Manish, and that could not have been good publicity for Poshmark.
Yeah, so everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt. So what happened, to my understanding, is that she, not on top of money, she went to a lot of consignment and thrift stores and places in the area and basically extorted them for better items for free. So she was getting a lot of designer items like Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, all of the top end brands for little to no money, and promising that she would film in those stores to bring people to their store. And that never happened. So it's something like upwards of 50 to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes. And some of these businesses now are experiencing problems. They gave away their best inventory. They're in financial issues with all of the money that they paid to this person. So they're dealing with a lot of issues. You can find a lot of these people on Instagram, but I don't really want to give out names. This is something you can easily Google.
I mean, you can just Google and there's a bunch of news articles about this with the name of the person involved.
Yeah, I just feel a little bit weird about giving out names, but it's a big deal. And so it's definitely, I want to say, in the reselling world, we come across scams a lot, way more than we should. And so anybody you meet in the reselling world, please, please, please be cautious and make sure that you are paying attention to what they're saying versus what is actually true. You can validate someone's sales to a point by looking at their solds on Poshmark. Again, people sell on multiple platforms, but if they're haven't made a sale on Poshmark in 3 days, you might want to question the fact that they said they made $1 million. Things like that. We can do things like that. And just be careful out there.
Yeah.
The community isn't as honest as I wish it was.
No, and both of these people that we're talking about have been arrested, and they're actually facing prison time for verifiable crimes.
Yeah.
So this next one is kind of similar in scope to the extorting the businesses for the free items. This person that was just arrested was renting items from the Real and other places online, and then selling them, and then disputing the charges on their credit card, and essentially not paying anything for the items, for, again, top end designer items, and pocketing the money.
Yes. So essentially, what she was doing was she would order a Veronica Beard dress from the Real. She would rent it, and then she would sell that Veronica Beard dress on Poshmark and would not be able to return it to the Real because she doesn't have it anymore. And when they tried to recover that money because she didn't return it, she would either turn off her credit card, she would have a burner credit card, and then when they would
those prepaid, like, gift card, debit
yeah,
cards, were
things
for
like
like
that.
$5 on it.
And you would say, well, why didn't they just shut down her account? Oh, they did many times, but she had hundreds of different
Yeah.
accounts that she was using to have this done. And the next question for me would be, well, why didn't they just track her IP address? I don't know if they had functionality, but even if they did,
They had her
she,
actual home address,
yeah,
I would imagine.
she could have been using a VPN. She could have been using PO boxes to mask her address. She could have been using friends' addresses. We don't know exactly what she was doing, but she was definitely masking her identity enough that the company was not able to recover the money. So she was arrested.
Yeah, this person out of, I think, Michigan. So the other person was from Texas. In Michigan, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of items
I
from.
think it was like 800,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's an insane amount of money over years of doing this. I think they actually also posted on Facebook, and there's a screenshot of someone saying, "It looks like you're selling stolen items." And they said, if I was selling stolen items, I'd be arrested. Well, she was.
Yeah.
So maybe don't go doing crime badly.
Yeah. And I mean, this makes me think of the times that I think we've all done this where we'll see a closet and we're like, how do they have hundreds of Louis Vuitton items? Or how do they have all of these designers? And we're all like, that's so strange. It could be something like this. So don't compare yourself to people that are selling high-end designer items because they might end up in jail.
I mean, yeah, it's either that they're a business doing bulk wholesale, and they're just throwing out all of the bad items, and only posting the top end items, and
There's plenty of
yeah,
legitimate reasons, but there's also
illegitimate.
not legitimate
There's, yeah,
reasons.
illegitimate reasons.
So definitely when you are looking for designer items on Poshmark or eBay or anything like that, just know that this is possible. I don't think it's the majority of people. I think that most people are pretty honest, but it's pretty scary to see that these things are happening, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I think we should remember that our buyers are seeing this and this does impact us. So
I also think that leads to the higher price on a lot of those websites like ThreadUp and the Real, because they're having to cover that loss. They're not going to eat it. We are collectively eating it in the higher prices.
it's probably true. So again, if you are thinking about committing crime like this because you want to make that money, please don't.
Yeah,
You-
do not
please
commit
don't.
crimes. Certainly don't commit crimes that are easily traceable to your house.
Crime better?
I mean, if you're going to crime, there's no reason to crime badly.
Yeah. Let's just unequivocally say don't commit crimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for anybody, and it really does give the platforms a bad name. And I'm really sorry that these things are happening, but I think it's really important that all sellers are aware of what's going on so you know what people are hearing about the platforms. When you type in Poshmark, unfortunately, these are the articles that pop up. And lastly, our last topic. This is something that's been kind of going a little bit viral in the last week or two.
Different viral. It's not a bad viral. This is just this has been all over social media places like Reddit and elsewhere. So
Yeah, so there is a Reddit person. Their username is Fun Police, and they've been posting statistics from Poshmark where they're letting you know the top selling in different categories. They have the top sellers of Poshmark. They have top jackets, top shirts, top whatever you can think of. They have it. And we, as a pants channel, decided we wanted to talk about the top selling brands that they have posted because I think I love looking at data, and I think it's
she's
really
a data
interesting.
person. I'm less a data person, but also kind of a data person. And it's important to realize that what you're looking at, you should trust but verify what they're actually saying, and take the information that is going to help you.
Yeah, data is only good as the person who pulled it, and data is only good as the data they had.
I also think Mark Twain said there is lies, damn lies, and statistics. So
you can make data say anything you want.
Yes, you can absolutely make it say that the sky is green if you want it. Like, there are ways to do it.
Yeah, but I wanted to run through some of this with you guys. So best-selling jeans by total count Levi's, American Eagle, Abercrombie, Mother, Judy Blue, Zara, Madewell, Miss Me, Lucky Brand, and Old Navy. Do any of those surprise you?
I mean, in terms of volume wise,
Volume.
I'm surprised the Mother is that high and that people are finding it as often as they are.
Yeah, 2,432 sold.
So I mean, some of those are not surprising at all because they're fast fashion and not high quality, and you're just churning those out.
Right.
Or people from their closet, they don't really care. They're just
Right, people
upcycling,
have them, so
recycling. Yeah,
yeah.
so that doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised that some of those are brands that I would pick up.
Yeah. Now, top selling by price was Levi's, Mother, American Eagle, Abercrombie, Judy Blue, Madewell, Seven for All Mankind, Zara, Good American, and Free People. Now, this means the amount that was sold on Poshmark. So Levi's won at 218,608 sold.
So
Dollars.
this is an example of how this can be misleading. So I would imagine that in order to get that high dollar amount, Levi's had to sell considerably more pairs of jeans on Poshmark than, say, Mother.
They did. So Levi's had to sell 7,885 to get that number, where Mother, which was 192,696, had to sell 2,432. So
A
like
third?
almost triple.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely make sure that you're looking at that to see. Yes, Levi's had most sold, but they also had the most sold, like most sold by dollar as well as most sold by count. So that's a big disparity.
And
Mother is definitely winning in that
yeah, you
scenario.
if you have the choice between the two, pick Mother every time if you're at the store.
Right. And we also have here the sizes that are most popular, and I'm going to share with you our size video at the end of this because we actually broke down what sizes sold best in different categories and it wasn't what you thought.
Yeah.
And this actually validates that because the top selling sizes are 28 and 27. So that actually is pretty much a medium. It's mid-range, it's pretty
Yeah.
average. It's not the biggest size. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that there aren't any plus sizes. And I'm wondering, did they filter? Did they factor in only like regular sizes because plus size is in a different tab? So did they not pull that in?
I
There's
think
questions.
it could be that, or it could also be that a lot of brands are not very size inclusive, unfortunately, and there's just significantly less volume of the larger sizes, and you're getting the sizes that are most readily available and the people that are finding that at the store, and that's what's selling because that's what's available.
Right. That could be too. So, but again, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt because I know my plus sizes sell a lot better. So there's a question there for me. But then the last thing I want to talk about was the fastest selling brand. So the fastest selling brand out of all of these, because these are all the same brands, is Judy Blue, which does not surprise me at all.
Facts. I mean, it's gospel now. Like it's obviously all true. Like
yeah, obviously. So
I
mean,
I can't even argue.
We should never refuted.
I mean,
everything is right.
I apologize for ever questioning the validity of those statistics.
So Judy Blue is one of our best-selling jean brands. We adore Judy Blue and will sell it forever.
We also have like a Judy Blue drama going on right now for a pair of jeans.
We still have some drama with Judy Blue, but we still love them. But there is a caveat here that says this list only includes the top selling brands under the fastest selling. So that means to me that there are some fast selling brands that are not part of the top brands that they just didn't include. They filtered them out. So
yeah, that to me tells me that there's not significant volume for those brands. So they're either very high end and very desirable, or they're less common than the ones that made the list, and they're selling better than potentially Judy Blue and others,
or at least faster.
Yeah.
So I actually am really curious what those could be. Do you have any theories?
I don't. I've been racking my brain this entire time, and I can't. Like I'm not good on under pressure.
Yeah.
On the spot, I don't excel. I need a moment to think about it and muddle through it. But I can't come up with anything.
If you guys have theories, leave them in the comments because I have been racking my brain trying to think of like what are these like niche brands that we don't find that often that might be in here.
I mean,
when we found this, you actually had a suggestion and he said maybe Veronica Beard.
Veronica Beard or Driftwood or other brands that are just, they don't have the same mass marketing as, say, American Eagle or Zara, but they're going to sell very quickly.
Or Ralph Lauren, Double RL.
I mean, something like that. There have to be other high ticket items that are selling very quickly. And I'm interested in those because I want to maximize the effort.
Yeah. So let us know. What do you think? What do you think is missing from this list? I would love to do a deep dive into that because I am dying to know. There's something missing and I need to know what it is. But that is everything we have. We are coming back really soon with a bins haul that you guys have been asking us for, and we have to film it because we sold some items. So make sure
Yeah,
you stay for that.
we're already out of some of the items.
Yeah, so make sure you stay for that. Make sure that you like, subscribe, all of those things so you're notified when that video comes out. It'll be out really soon. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all for watching.